So Aakriti, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You graduated last year, 2022 from IMT. You got a PPO from L'Oreal. You worked there for a few months after.
Yeah.
And you then moved on to another organization, Noise. Tell me more about Noise.
So L'Oreal is a great organization to work for. It's one of the probably the dream companies for a lot of B school grads that come in, and I was very fortunate to have worked with them for about 6 months. But I moved on to Noise because I see myself in a position where I'm able to do something on my own after a point of time. And I know that Noise can kind of give me those learnings for me to kind of venture into something of my own. So I see myself more entrepreneurial in nature. I see myself more fitted in a startup setup wherein it is more aggressive. It gives you more projects to kind of experiment with. So kind of that was my reason one. Second, I genuinely feel that you're way more than the organization you're working for. So I put up in Gurgaon since my childhood, so I have my home here, and moving back to Gurgaon gave me that freedom, that space, that time to kind of do more. So for example, my NGO or a side hustle that I wanted to do along with my job, and also I keep writing a lot, so that also requires a lot of time. So I think it gave me a lot of freedom to do much more and bring out much more from myself.
Great. So I think, and that's exactly what you're doing. So Noise, I believe, is the organization that you are working in.
Yeah.
And you used to work in here before you came into IMT Ghaziabad.
Yes.
Obviously, a lot of very good work is happening at Noise. So when you were talking earlier, you were talking about particular products that are coming into the market, the kind of competitive orientation that the industry has. And at the same time, you also have a lot of other things that you're also doing, because you obviously believe in a cause. So you have Savum
Yes.
Foundation. Tell us a little bit about Savum and what drove you into creating this particular social venture.
Yeah. So Savum Foundation is my NGO, and interestingly, we started Savum back at IMT, and eventually after 2 years, once I graduated, I wanted to make it completely into a full-fledged organization, into a full-fledged NGO. So I got it registered officially as a non-profit, and it is in this Jan that we've started doing everything. Every week we have one drive. So we're into 3 things right now. So one is women empowerment, wherein we do skill development so that they can seek employment in the longer term in other organizations. And also whatever they make, we kind of pitch it to corporates as part of corporate gifting, and then pass on the whatever is generated to these women so that they can earn also out of it.
Right.
Second, we are into education, wherein we take career counseling sessions for kids for all ages approximately. So for example, anyone below 12, we would give hygiene sessions. Anyone who's in 10th and 12th, we would give career counseling sessions as to how they should not drop out and continue education and go to colleges. So that is one. And third is cloth donation and book donation.
Very nice. I think I wish you the very best with Savum, and I know that you have been talking to the head of incubation,
Yes.
Mr. Chandraban Singh Nathawat,
Yes.
to kind of work together on your foundation. Let's hope we are able to do some work together on this, because I think IMT Ghaziabad by itself, it is obviously a standalone management institution. But at the same time, we are also, in this whole context of doing social good. We fundamentally believe that management education and the kind of skill set it provides, the kind of intellectual capacities it has, should be used for much beyond particular parameters, which are career only. So I think that's important, and I'm sure we'll carry on that conversation as we go forward. If I come back to, let's say, your 2020, 2022 phase. 2020, we know what was the situation. A lot of your learning was online, wasn't it?
Yes.
And by the time you came possibly to the last 6-7 months of your program is when you were able to come to the campus physically.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your IMT experience.
it was a great experience, even being online, because of the kind of peers I had, the kind of networking I had, because everyone was so enthusiastic, to kind of do something and, get over that COVID phase. And then eventually we came to campus, and it was a whole new different experience for us. So I think we lived two lives in our MBA. That was like a great exposure to look at the silver lining. And I think from online to offline, we kind of bonded really well.
You have what I believe is a strong LinkedIn presence, right? Or let's say social media presence, and you're someone who's a very creative artist. You're someone who writes a great deal, and I've seen some of your content, some of your commentary as well on LinkedIn. Absolutely very good. What drove you to that?
So I feel in today's time, it's very important to showcase to the world what you're doing. Mm-hmm. So one, LinkedIn serves as a medium for me to showcase whatever I'm doing. Second, how else would I connect with people pan-India and get them to volunteer for Savum? So right now we have about 50 volunteers pan-India who are holding drives in different parts of the country, like in Chennai, in Hyderabad, in Mumbai. So we have people from all over India coming in and helping build Savum together. So that was one. LinkedIn was one medium for me to connect with so many people. It helps me with my writing. I started writing on LinkedIn, just to improve my writing skills. Mm-hmm. But then eventually I started getting followers. I started getting validation for my opinion, for my thoughts, and that kind of helped me continue doing that. And I still do that very regularly. It's almost a full-time job for me. Yeah.
No, wonderful. I think these are obviously things that you possibly see let's say in the last 5-6 years, when there's a certain critical mass and a critical mass presence on varied social media, and of course your way of expressing yourself, what you believe in, possibly Savum as well. Glad to know that a lot more people are contributing to your cause, and of course it's a pan-India cooperation or help that you're actually getting. So that's wonderful for your objectives and what you would like to achieve. Is this, and it comes back to the point. So I would obviously look at your interests, your skill sets, your thoughts, your career moves as being multidisciplinary or dipping into many different aspects, and some would obviously call it maybe eclectic as well. Is this in a way the sign of the times, or is this in a way the sign of the times to come, wherein you have people, great minds, intellectual, aspirational, getting into, let's say, management education, getting into their MBA program, but over a period of time getting into discovering themselves as they go forward? Is this what we see as an indication to much more of this happening in the longer term?
Absolutely. I think in today's world, and even the Gen Z that we kind of manage at our organizations also, they want to do a lot, right? And so do we. We have interest in so many things because we're brought up like that. We are surrounded with so many things, and it's not possible to just be interested in one thing. You like so many things and you want to pursue all of them. And probably that is management. That is what management is all about, kind of managing these things together. And though a lot of people say that multitasking is not the right thing to do, you should, kind of specialize in something or go into a niche, I feel at the very starting of your career, in your 20s at least, and in your early 30s, you should be very open to experimenting. You should be very open to doing a lot of things, because you don't know what turns out going forward. So I think everyone should be very, very open to doing things, experimenting, identifying their strengths and weaknesses, and then probably narrowing it down to about couple in the future.
So does a place like IMT Ghaziabad, does it give you that space to, let's say, experiment, give you that space to be able to then possibly validate some things which are doing well, some things are obviously not doing well? Did you feel that you got that kind of flexibility and space for expressing your creativity?
Absolutely. I think before IMT, I was a very average student. Okay, I was always into extracurricular activities, very average with grades and everything, and was working hard enough, to say that yes, I'm working hard enough, but not enough to see results, right? IMT helped me, kind of channelize that hard work into something material, into something which can be quantified, basically. So I think IMT gave me that space to, put in my knowledge that I've gathered in so many years into the right places, and that is how we were able to do so much. And it's not just about me, it's about every single individual at IMT. Everyone have their own particular journeys, very different journeys to one another. I was a lot into case competitions, and that's how I understood my strengths as a speaker, as a writer, as someone who's great at marketing. There was someone who was doing something else. So, everyone had their own individual journey, and IMT gave them that space to actually be who they are.
Makes sense. I think since you spoke about competitions, I believe you were part of the L'Oreal Brandstorms.
Yes,
right?
that's how I got the PPO.
That's how you got the PPO.
Yeah.
We at IMT wish you the very best. Thanks so much for participating in today's conversation. This is obviously our first conversation on video, but we look forward to many more. So thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting.
Thank you.